Which one's the best crypto asset? Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Which one's the best crypto asset? Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Which one's the best? 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 What's the second best?
This is Discover Crypto, and every day on the channel we teach you how to make money with digital assets. We got a very special show today. It's going to be a very special DZ stream. No TJ today. It allows me to actually talk to a TA expert. We're going to talk to the best trader in our Discord, Crypto Crank. He has a growing channel, a growing Telegram. We've seen a lot of whales start to interact with this guy. This guy has been crushing it with trades. We got to talk about PayPal minting $300 trillion of a stable coin and what altcoin can potentially benefit from that move. We got a little BNB news. We got some Ethereum news, and we got to talk about SBF. That is right. Sam Bankman-Fried, he is back, and he's trying to do a little bit of a PR campaign. He wants you to forget about his crimes from 2022. And not only that, we got James Wynn turning into James Lose. Again, we're going to talk about his trades. He came back with a lot of fanfare, and we might even mention silver and gold and what is going on over there. It's just been totally insane. Now, just looking at the Bitcoin price here, I see a lot of volatility. We had a strong wick down where we're going to talk about what created this, what caused this here. And then you can see a nice little bounce in, creating a slightly higher low, but I would not be surprised to see this come back down. Now, when we go to the 1 hour, you'll see the power of this level. This is kind of just where we're seeing these liquidity swings go. Bitcoin is just kind of bouncing around between these two ranges on the 1 hour chart. You can see the flash crash that happened on Friday. Bitcoin, losing a ton of its market share there, but now just kind of traipsing around. And we have some other potential areas that we're going to be looking at here with Crypto Crank, maybe coming down to some of these value pockets a little bit lower, everybody. Now, I do want to give a quick shout out to L Bank. There is a trading challenge right now, and it is just not even a trading challenge, a prediction challenge. All you have to do is predict Bitcoin's price. We're going to be setting up a channel in our Discord for these predictions here. Let's keep an eye on that. But all you got to do is predict Bitcoin's future price, and you're going to win this prize pool. It ends in about a week, a little less, 5 days, 19 hours. So just a hair under 6 days. And then you send give us a UID, and we're going to be basically paying out people as part of a $1,000 prize pool here. So good luck. And I want to go ahead and ask chat right now. 6 days from now, what is Bitcoin's price? Give me your week from now Bitcoin price prediction, and make sure you go in the Discord, get these guesses in. We're going to submit them into L Bank. L Bank's going to look at them, and hopefully someone from our community ends up winning this thing, because we would like to see the Disco fam win this. Now, let's look at the Bitcoin price. Let's look at the altcoin prices. We need to hit refresh because we're seeing massive candles on the 1 minute, 5 minute here. Bitcoin's down 1.3 and ETH is down 1.9, and even BNB is down. Tron showing a little bit of strength. A little Asian narrative strength here is going to be good, which is going to take us to our top gainer, and it is CoAI. We have the only winner. Hopefully you jumped in with us. We got in around $7, so we're up about 200%. We're up on a 3x on this, trading around $22. World Liberty Fi, they have a little bit of news. We're going to talk about that a little bit as well. They're trying to branch out. They're trying to get a little excitement for that token. Trading at 14 cents, which is vastly lower than its launch price, around a quarter there. Look at the big losers, Zcash. Zcash is down 10%. If you've been waiting on this one, maybe a little DCA target. We did jump in at 160. Probably going to be holding this one a little bit longer, though. Tau is down. Aster, a disaster. The airdrop happened. Now, we did have a prediction. There's going to be two competing forces with Aster. It's going to be hard to tell who wins. It's going to be people selling their airdrop, which is obviously there's going to be a lot of sell pressure. There's also going to be a lot of short pressure. People try to short this token, which would then cause the market makers to come in, run that token up. Now, we got some price predictions I do want to read. We got 92K, 95K. People going bullish, 116, 130. Bear targets here, $0 is what Bitcoin's going to be a week from now. 128, 92, 117. They do want you to guess down to 2 decimal points. So go ahead and put in the pennies as well. 444. Someone is smoking some hopium. 92, 690, 115, 117, 95 here, 118, 102. So all types of predictions, 90, 200K. Now I think you're just trolling me. You just wanted me to point out your prediction. And another bear prediction. Brick Wall says Bitcoin's going to hit a brick wall. And Studious for the bears is what it's going to look like there. And someone else saying less than a penny. I will have my buy orders on the sidelines there. Now, let's get into the charts here. We do have a special guest. I want to go ahead and throw him up here. Crypto Crank, you're kind of known as being the best trader in the Discord. You've been crushing these calls here. I don't know if you have any, if you want to share your screen here, we got to throw it in. Make sure you hit present. Make sure you get the window up. And then we'll look at what are you what are you seeing with Bitcoin? Maybe we'll look at some of the hotter altcoins here. Maybe type in an altcoin you want Crank to look at here. Maybe we could check that out as well. Crypto Crank, we got to get your chart first, though, if you want to throw that out. I think you have the window from the stream. See, we had it. Me and Crank were talking this morning. We had everything simpatico. Then we bothered him about his window sizes, and now everything is all screwed up. All right, here we go. Adding to the stage. I'm on Aaron, so let me remove this.
All right, can you guys see it? Can you guys see my screen?
All right, we got there, folks. All right, so tell me. All right, so you're a trader. You do have a channel. Big shout out to Crypto Crank. But tell me what you're seeing with these Bitcoin trades. That's what people want to hear. Is it going up? Is it going down, Crank?
Oh, guys, we have no idea, man. We just the best thing that we could do is be prepared, especially after what we just saw in these huge liquidation events of that $19-20 billion. And on a lot of these charts, guys, sometimes I don't include some of these big wicks, these big liquidation events that happen like that. A lot of these times, let's just start off on Bitcoin and we'll see what. And again, thanks guys for bringing me on the show. I'm real excited. It's my first time being on a show with a very large channel. I've been part of the Disco fam since probably 2017. So it's excited to be here with the Disco fam. So shout out to you guys for sure. If you guys could definitely
are we comparing window sizes now? It was part of the initiation process. Okay, it's not as bad as the dating party, but it's up there. All right, now back to Bitcoin. I don't know why I said that. There was no point in that. What are we seeing now? We're kind of talking about.
So this is what we got. Let's go over it real quick, DZ. I have a massive golden pocket here. The way I trade, simple trading is the best trading. That's what I teach in the Coliseum. Is simple trading is the best trading. And right now we could see that we've had multiple bounces inside of this golden pocket. And Bitcoin right now does have this liquidity right underneath this 109 that we've been playing. It would make sense that either two things are about to happen with Bitcoin. Either one, we are going to be putting in a higher low. All right. Again, right above our golden pocket. We came down the first time. Nice big bounce. Second time, right above it, but it's still touched. Third time is sitting right where it's at. And this is on a daily time frame. But again, this daily golden pocket has been a huge location to take these longs and just take these trades. Stops directly underneath. If you were going to take this trade, I wouldn't. I'm going to sit back on Bitcoin because if we just go down to like a 1 hour, you can see that, just like you were saying, DZ, we have so many touches right now on this little support line, and it is decision time for Bitcoin. You can see that this is not good.
The more you knock on a door, the more likely you're going to smash through that door.
And right underneath, directly underneath, is that golden pocket like I was talking about. This is a big level right here. If we do end up coming back down and we do break this golden pocket, then the only way to pull this from is it's going to be down towards $74,000. You can't pull fibs from here. You can't pull fibs. I mean, this is the one that we've been trading for almost. I mean, if we just pull out the time frame here, from here to here, we're talking almost 106 days. If we break this golden pocket, then we're going to be looking down at this 786 at 104. But this wick, now we got to take the wick real serious. If we do end up breaking this golden pocket, where can we start getting filled? And that golden pocket's going to be all the way down towards that big 92,000. This is where you're seeing a lot of these influencers and these traders see this $92,000 as a massive CME gap down there. It would make sense that if we do end up taking out this golden pocket and the 786, trajectory says we're going right down towards $92,000 and getting all of this filled. The other thing too is
a little scary, but I would see a little bit of an opportunity. And my prediction would be we go higher from there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we do too. And price loves to hunt liquidity. Right now, we have a lot of stops sitting here at 100 grand. We didn't break it. We have a lot of stops sitting at 100,000. And if we just go to the 1 hour, I'm sorry, let's go to like a 4 hour real quick. Again, lots of stops right underneath all of this. And then all of these guys right here, 99, and then down towards this 92 right in here. These are huge. And what I mean by stops, if you guys don't know, everybody that longs right here has a stop directly underneath. Everybody that longed right here has stops directly underneath. And same thing here underneath this 108. Now, all of these guys just got blasted on this. These guys just got liquidated. From what I heard, it's some of these people were, it's not so good. You know,
yeah. I mean, some people, you know, there's people taking their own lives over this.
It was, I know a couple of traders that lost probably $14 million, and these guys are just, they're excited to get back into settling these price actions and make it back. And it's decision time for Bitcoin. Again, stops directly underneath. And let's just go to Market Cipher, and this is the indicator. Obviously, you guys know CryptoFace.
Shout out to CryptoFace, by the way, here.
Shout out to CryptoFace, one of the best indicators out there. And right now on the 4 hour, it is not looking good, but there is a small divergence right now, a little bullish divergence. You can see the momentum to the downside is getting absolutely weaker. It's just like this right in here. You had this massive liquidation. There's a big momentum wave. Same thing here, but this next little wave, not as bad on the next move down. So if we do end up taking this, all right, I don't think it's going to be as violent as this wick. Now, I do think that Bitcoin is the only one that can retest that wick at that $100,000. I don't think most of the altcoins are going to do it. That is a 50-60% drop getting down towards that wick. So I don't think that the altcoins are going to be. I mean, XRP down at that wick is at $1.15. I don't think you're going to see that. That was a flash crash wick. But that's on the 4 hour. 1 hour real quick on Bitcoin. Looking good. Momentum is coming up. Money flow is flat. So what I mean by that is it's not getting deeper. Okay, it's actually rounding. If you guys can see this right here, this is as deep as it got. All right, it's rounding right now. Momentum is coming up. So if we do come down and break this for just a liquidity hunt, we might even be able to pull a quick fib from even the wick to this high. And that puts us right around that 106, which again, on the big time frame, 107, 108 is the big fib. And if you want, we can go. Did anybody in the chat say they wanted any other?
Yeah, I saw a lot of people typing in Chainlink. I think Chainlink probably had the most there. A lot of Link Marines in the chat, and especially with that recent drawdown. I think it was touching 17 and some change just earlier, maybe 18.
17 and some change right below. You know, I was on vacation. I went on a little mini vacation. I was able on Coinbase to get in right at $11. I'm sorry, $14 on Coinbase was as low as it was.
Did you have a buy order, or were you watching that? You were actually watching that 10-minute window.
My friends call me and they're like, "Yo, Crank, what's going on?" And I said, "What do you mean?" They're like, "Bitcoin's at 100 grand," and I'm like, "No, it's. I've been waiting to do this spot purchase." And Coinbase, it was kind of sucky because it's the only exchange that didn't touch below $15. Everything else was way down here below 10. And it was kind of shady, to be honest with you. And it took me almost 10 minutes to try to get that order in. And you know, if you hold some money on Coinbase, man, or if you have your bank accounts connected, you can instantly do the purchase. It just
I actually dumped my PYUSD, and today seemed like a good day. You know, now it actually maybe seems like a good time to dump that. I was not able to catch that stink bid wick though. I was jumping a little bit later. I was doing the hard work when it happened, man.
Yeah, look at this. When we were talking about liquidity being hunted again, everybody stops directly underneath. Everybody stops directly underneath. Bam, just blasted everybody. This is absolutely insane to see. Again, I don't think that any of these altcoins are going to be retesting this wick. This, again, is a 60% drawdown. I don't think we're going to see that. That was just a crazy liquidation event. Binance stops weren't working. The only feature that was working on the exchanges, from what they say, was the liquidation feature, and that was it. Actually, I think, are you guys going to be going over that CZ and them? I think they paid back almost $280 million.
Yeah, we covered a little bit of that yesterday. Yeah, trying to do a little PR there. But back to Chainlink now. I remember, I think it was maybe the 4 hour. You're starting to see a little bit of strength on Bitcoin with the money flow. Are we seeing any strength with the Chainlink money flow?
Yeah, it's rounding as well. We could see, It's rounding as well. It's not, the momentum is getting weaker to the downside. Money flow is considered flat, meaning it's just like this. Could we bleed out with Bitcoin and we end up breaking this $17? I would say Chainlink absolutely loves right below this. If we go out to a daily, we can see here, Chainlink absolutely loves. This is going to be a massive support flip right where we're at. So I'd say anything right below. So this is going to be $16. And the one of the altcoins that I'm really looking at that did not end up playing out, which it should have, is going to be Avalanche. We'll look at that last one, but yeah, I can see loading up, tried to break out, finally broke out, retest. This is a massive retest for Chainlink right now, and I'm actually floored. You guys go over everything that's going great with Chainlink, all of the partnerships, the Swift, the banking.
Oh, chat, I got a secret Chainlink catalyst that's going to be happening over the next 30 days. I'm going to be revealing that a little bit later in the stream.
Yeah, again, I think that almost all of these altcoins that are doing this this breakout retest right now, again, try to break out, faked everyone out.
All right, let's do one last altcoin. I'm throwing it because there's just so much riding with beads. Let me make sure it's not the same person. Okay, it is a little bit riding with beads here, but we're seeing a lot of ADA. We're seeing a lot of Cardano here.
Okay.
Sayer
I
Smith
could do
as
both.
well.
You guys tell me what you're wanting.
Just give us a quick ADA. What do you got for ADA here?
Let's look at ADA. All right, ADA. USD.
What are you typing in over there?
I'm going to ADA, but I use it on perpetuals. I look at always perpetuals, man. So
interesting.
Not in. I don't look at it at USD on Coinbase. I look at everything.
I do spot crypto. I'll do the spot crypto. So it's like the commodity listing on TradingView.
What did this thing touch, dude? This thing touched 27 cents. I haven't even looked at any of this. This thing came.
Yeah, basically wiped out everybody pre-November 24.
This thing killed everybody. Look at it. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So on ADA, I'd be looking if we end up breaking this wick. You know, a lot of the times on the wicks, you can get that 50% move. I don't think you're going to see this the entire move, but again, something down here back towards this 50 cents. If we go out towards at 50 cents,
yes,
50, 60 cents, and you can see, I mean, this is a massive, massive support flip right here. It likes this all the way back here. Look at this. It likes this here, man. So if you guys are hot on ADA, this 50 cents is it's a breakout retest. It loves this area right here. And so if you do end up seeing, again, this is almost the 50% part of that wick. When I don't think any of these altcoins are going to head back towards the bottom of this wick. I think Bitcoin can absolutely retest the bottom of that. I mean, that's only a 10% move for Bitcoin to get back down to the bottom of that wick. 60, 70% moves for some of these altcoins. And so if you're hot on ADA, I'd be looking at 50 cents.
All right. Well, Crypto Crank, we should put a link down below. If not, how can they find your channel, your Telegram, anything like that you want to share?
I'm on Telegram under Real Crypto Crank. And again, I'm the creator and founder of the Cranksters Coliseum, where we trade. We do live trading. I have free trading inside of my Telegram as well. And then on YouTube, it's just at Crypto Crank. And again, I'll be floating around here in the chat, guys. And thanks, DZ, man. You're the man. I really appreciate it.
No, you're the man. You're the man. And everybody, he is just a very successful trader. Every time I talk to this guy, he's like, yeah, I'm on vacation, or yeah, I got to plan this vacation, or yeah, me and the wife, we're jet setting. So really, really good trader. And Crypto Crank, always a good time, man. I appreciate you.
Thanks,
giving us
DZ.
your time here.
I'll see you guys.
All right. Now I can do the meme, everybody. I could do the meme of the disgusted esports player. And if you're wondering, this is how I feel every time I look at the ADA chart. I'm like, that's how I feel, folks. That's how I feel. I almost threw it on the ground just for a little extra effect there. Now, let's get into the news, everybody. There's Crank still. I see him. I saw him. He wasn't picking his nose, but that would have been funny. All right, let's talk about the trade war here. This is going to be He's laughing. All right. I didn't offend him with that one. All right. The trade war, the Trump trade war. What is going on? Is that's what's creating these red candles? Is it? Let's dive in. What are the facts here? So Trump confirming the U.S. is in a trade war with China. And so he confirmed they're in an active trade war and threatening the 100% tariff on all Chinese imports last week. This is from yesterday. Well, we're in one now, Trump said after being asked by White House reporters whether they're preparing for sustained trade war with China. This is from this post right here. Now, interesting thing about this post landed 4:52 p.m. Now, actually, though, if you click on this one, it takes you to the person that quote tweeted that. So this one is 4:57 p.m. So the original video hit 4:52 p.m. on X, started being reshared 4:57, 5:10, 5:15. Next thing you know, it ended up hitting the markets. And if you look, this is right 5:15, 5:20, right at 5:20. So he's making his little announcements. I think it's these wicks right here. This is when it happens live. There's a lot of activity. People start shorting it. They're shorting it, wreck a couple shorts, and then the tariff fuel. You can see it right there. As that post got a little bit more popular, maybe it's coincidence, but the timing to me is pretty suspicious. And if we go to where we're at right now, you can see we did bounce pretty strongly. We bounced pretty strongly off that level. So back to the Trump thing. So, kind of a little bit of a catalyst, a little bit of a match. Did some people throw gasoline on that match? Probably, but that was the match right there. Now, he said he's going to do the 100% tariff after they tighten their export controls on the rare earth minerals that are essential for building computer chips. But Scott Bessent doubled down. He doubled down on the China fear here. He criticized the trade tactics from China earlier on Wednesday, claiming their actions will backfire if they don't ease their export controls. If some of the Chinese government want to slow down the government economy through disappointing actions and through economic coercion, the Chinese economy will be hurt the worst or hurt the most. And make no mistake, this is China versus the world. What does this comment mean? It means they're going to lean on their allies. They're going to say, all right, well, we have these tariffs. We have these export controls on China. We want you to do the same thing, India, UK, Australia, New Zealand, you name the country. If they align with the US, they're going to lean on them to make them a little bit more anti-China. The markets do not like this. This is going to end up hurting the markets. It's just going to end up bleeding and basically just look for a lot more volatility, especially as we head into the weekend. Tomorrow is Friday. Just be careful out there, folks. If you are going to be trading, just be careful with some of those levels. Now, back to the bearish sentiment here. Retail, a lot of people are saying retail is not here, and this is a big sign. The Bitcoin retail interest is in bear market as crypto sentiment flips to fear. And so the retail investors are known for entering the markets during periods of euphoria, typically after a strong rally or new all-time highs. Still, despite Bitcoin hitting multiple all-time highs this year, the general's public interest and retail activity continue to lag. Have retail investors given up on Bitcoin? Well, there's some interesting theories on that. If they have given up on Bitcoin, well, what's retail doing? They're not watching Roaring Kitty. They're not watching, Dave Portnoy trade some meme stocks. What is retail doing? Well, maybe retail's a little sideline looking at precious metals right now. Retail had money last cycle. Retail might be out of money with the inflation, with everything else. DCA and Prey, before I even brought this up, retail is buying gold like a bunch of noobs. I've seen lines of people buying gold. Well, to that effect, let's look at the post right here. This is the post that, or one of the posts you might. Gold FOMO is back in Australia. Lines are forming, prices at new all-time highs. Every cycle ends the same way. Retail piles into yesterday's winner. Were these people knocking on the door at 1,200, 2,000? They were not knocking on the door. Are they knocking on the door at 4,000? They certainly are. Now, I did want to do something. I'm looking at Bitcoin here in Australian dollars. These are Aussie bucks. These are kangaroo bucks here, kangaroo dollars. I think that's what they call them. They hold it in a pouch. When you turn 18 in Australia, they give you a kangaroo pouch man purse, and then you put in your kangaroos, your kangaroo buckos. And that, but one Bitcoin is 170,000 Australian dollars. If you look at, just say, since 2020, during the March crash in 2020, you can get your Bitcoin for under 10K in Australian dollars. Right now, trading nearly 200, trading at 170. Now, looking at gold, this is gold priced in Australian dollars. Australia, they have their own issues. Now, they do. I did look into their inflation. They have brought it down to 2.1 year over year as per their last quarter. I think it was maybe a June reading, so maybe not the latest quarter there. But yeah, their inflation is, somewhat in control, but they're still printing. And I think their economy knows, like, all right, maybe this inflation is a little bit worse than what's being reported in America, at least. I think there's a lot of criticism that the inflation numbers don't seem accurate. I think we're seeing the same criticism in other countries, specifically the EU, also Australia. This is silver in Australian dollars. Oh, no, this is just silver. Silver also going crazy. If you're wondering about the silver calls, I checked right before the stream. We're up 20% on the silver calls I bought yesterday, and we're now up to about 137% gain on our gold futures. If you guys want to know more about that, shoot me a DM. I'm more than willing to, talk to you guys about that. The Big Short went long. Please confirm. So when I looked into Hyperliquid Whale is back, there's a lot of misinformation. There were people that maybe had shorts on from Friday, but not the Big Whale. I checked the Big Whale's wallet today. He closed a short and he pulled it all out. He pulled it all out in USDC. Can we see that in Fortnite V-Bucks? It basically is the same thing. Now, to silver, I know there's a lot of jokes, people having good times with it, but I don't. Do you think that's where retail's money is going? I do. I think there's a lot of retail money going to gold. I think there's a lot of retail money going to silver, but I also think that is going to end once that music stops playing. When that music stops playing, they're going to want to get something else. They're going to want to, potentially say, well, what's the next silver that's going to pump? That next silver that's going to pump could easily be this right here. All right. Now, I hope you have the sound on. This is going to be a good one. It's going to be, we just got two videos here. All right, let me add to the stage. Boomer, point of view. Boomers who paid 50 ounce for a silver in 1980, finally breaking even in 2025. I think we've all seen the video. Is this your grandpa? Is this your grandpa? He bought silver? It might be. It might be, folks. I think it might be. All right, I got one more. All right. So what do we got? Silver Bulls who paid $50 in 1980, celebrating after finally breaking even. Hold on. It's always a thing here. It's always a thing. So I normally don't share multiple screens here. So let me remove this. One more meme. It is your uncle. Don't lie. It's your uncle. It's your Tio. It's your grandpa. Maybe it's you. You're finally celebrating. Now is your time. Now is your time for glory. How about Grandpa's moves right there? Grandpa's got some moves. All right, now looking at the silver chart. Yeah, silver chart's looking great. Referencing 1980. The reason we're doing that, oh man, I have to go to month. We have to go to the month chart. There is someone who bought here, and that person is celebrating. Let's just give them their flowers. Good for them. Good for them. It does feel good to be in just a winning position. Did you have to wait almost 50 years for that winning position? Sure. But a winning position's a winning position, everybody. So we take those W's. I want W's in the chat. W's in the chat if you got some precious metals. Where's Josh? Josh is traveling. He's not gone anywhere. Nothing funny about that. Dude has a medical condition. I thought he was just having a good time on the dance floor. The medical condition is being awesome and being based. That's the only medical condition that I saw. We do got some Palladium Pals. We got the Palladium Pals here. We got people buying Pokemon cards. A lot of retail went to pay taxes. All right. After taxes, normally it's a little buy powder. That's when the buys start rolling in here. Any word on Arculus? Yeah, we talked about this maybe earlier this week. Arculus you're going to have to export the wallet to. I'm drawing a blank on what you have to export the wallet, then claim. That's what it boils down to there. Let's see here. Check for the 530X paste. All right, Kelly, I will. Finally selling your grill. Like, you're talking about my Paul Wall grill, or are we talking about like a Foreman grill? Because, I do like to cook my bacons in the morning, folks. I don't know if you ever like to cook your bacon in the morning, but that's the move for me here. All right, let's move forward here. It's not all silver. Is this how you feel? Bitcoin better than gold. It will always be the superior asset. Learn. I think there's even people who do hold crypto that think Bitcoin is superior to gold. I think there's, maybe especially older. The older you are, the probably more likely this applies. You can touch it. There's a lot of people who just don't like the fact that you can't touch Bitcoin. What to you is the superior asset? Is it gold? Is it Bitcoin? Let me know, folks. I am kind of curious here. What about Aave? I'm still bullish on Aave. My average price is pretty low because we win a little heavy under 200. So we're still doing pretty good. So it could go down to 200. We're still going to be in profits there. What do you think alt season's still will happen. Yeah, I think so. There's still a lot of alts that got to do very well. Solana topping November 24 seems a little unlikely to me. And now I know it flirted with new all-time highs, but are they trying to cancel never. I am shielded. I'm shielded with my last name, folks. Let's see. Litecoin better than silver. I got silver over Litecoin. Bitcoin is best. Okay, folks. All right. So I think we're mostly in agreement here. All right. Other stories we got today. We got a truth bomb. I wanted to give you a little bit more fear before we go into the bullish narratives here. One more bit of fear. 20-30% of Bitcoin will be taken by a quantum machine. They do not know if it's going to be 2 to 8 years. There's also a very large window. But there is a point. 20-30% of Bitcoin will be taken by a quantum machine, and there's nothing we can do to stop this. There are specific types of addresses like Satoshi's $125 billion and many other old and lost coins. Bitcoiners will have a painful decision to make. We must discuss it now. Do we let quantum hackers take Satoshi's Bitcoin and dump $500 billion? Do we agree a migration period for their coins? If they don't migrate, we burn the assets. Only two options we have. I lean towards 30% supply unlock will probably destroy Bitcoin's hard money and trust the code. There are people who say Bitcoin cannot be broken because quantum can't break SHA-256. That doesn't matter because Bitcoin's weakest point of vulnerability isn't SHA-256. It is something called ECC. Now, this is something I'm starting to do a little bit of research on. I'm not trying to FUD Bitcoin or anything. But if you look at the ECC in Bitcoin and SHA-256 in Bitcoin, they both have their part in securing the network. ECC stands for elliptical, elliptical curve. Here we go. Curve cryptography. Elliptical curve cryptography, SHA-256, are cryptographic algorithms used to secure transactions. ECC is used for generating your keys and digital signatures. It's also used in a lot of old wallet infrastructure. SHA-256 is for the blocks and the transactions and for creating the addresses. That's why it's harder to guess an address. But if an address is already generated, you can crack it. Now, this ECC, elliptical curve cryptography, is the weakest vulnerability when it comes to Bitcoin. And so, it's just something to throw on your radar. I thought SHA-256 was like the end-all, be-all. It's the government algo, NSA created there. But that is not the weakest point. The weakest point of failure for Bitcoin is the ECC cryptography there. I guess that's, cryptography, but ECC is going to be the failure point. Bitcoin dominance will dump hard and quick. I mean, if Satoshi moves 1 penny worth of Bitcoin, it's going to dump 20%. There's a lot of quantum startups that are working on this. Martin Shkreli has one. Let's see. There's also a quantum mathematics AI startup by Pavel Durov. No, not Telegram guy. The vampire, Vlad Tenev from Robinhood also has one of these. There's a lot of smart people. There's former quants, billionaires pouring a lot of money into this. And what you sell to a VC is, hey, invest in this company. We're trying to do quantum mathematics. And our business model is cracking Satoshi's old wallet because it has weaker security. There's going to be a lot of money pouring into this, so throw it up. You wake up to news that a Satoshi wallet just moved to Bitcoin 0. I've asked this question before. I think it's a immediate. I don't know if it's 50%, 40%, 20%. It's an immediate double-digit decline. I know TJ, he's a little bit more bullish than I am. I'm like, this thing is going to dump, and it's going to dump hard if Satoshi's wallet is cracked. Now, there's different types of people that want to. Some people want to crack it and then put it in a newer, more secure address. Other people want to crack it and sell it. Other people want to crack it and burn it. Burn Satoshi's tokens forever. My question is, I don't think you can move it because what if Satoshi's grandchildren, all of a sudden, 50 years from now or 40, 39 years from now, like, hey, after 50 years, you can claim my Bitcoin. This goes to my children's children. And then you're Satoshi's grandchild and I get Satoshi's Bitcoin and you go and the wallet's empty. That'd be a feel bad. But let's talk about ETH here. Let's talk about ETH. ETH, 95% of corporate ETH buys happened in Q3. Is this the start of the ETH super cycle? That's because no one was really doing it before. But nearly all the ETH accumulated by the public companies happened in the 3-month window between July and September. 95% of all the inflows was in that 3-month window there, referring to the 19 billion held in public treasuries. It's 4% of the total supply thus far. Now, at the time of publication, these are the 3 leaders here. Bitmine is number 1. They have 3 million. That's the one. Tom Lee is the Asian guy with the really, really good head of hair. I'm like jealous of his hair there. Also, we got Sharplink coming in, number 2. And then we got the Ether Machine. This is going to be, I believe, a Teal investment is going to be on that one. And they have 500,000 ETH. So that's the top 3. Now, Arthur Hayes and Bitmine chair Tom Lee, they are still projecting $10,000 Ethereum by the year end. I'm not quite that bullish. I'd be surprised if it hit 8. I think it can hit 8. I think 6 is definitely in the cards. 6 is going to be, 50% pump from the 4K move. It did get closer to 5K, but that's going to be where I'm at here. Let's see. Even if Satoshi sells, BlackRock will buy. I agree. We still have problems with AI to this day. So quantum is so far in the future here. Yeah, I'm past my skis when I start talking about the bits and the error conversion rates. And, you start talking about solar shielding and it gets really, really crazy there. Is Charlie Lee the guy? No relation to Tom, nor, hey, shout out to Litecoin though. When hacking his wallet still be illegal? So Castle, there's 2 camps. One would say that is theft. Other would say bug bounty. It's a bug bounty. To me, it's definitely stealing. If you lock your door and someone picks the lock, they're breaking and entering. And so if I lock my wallet, cryptographically, and all of a sudden you break it with a cryptographic proof, you make some algorithm, yeah, you're still breaking in. Let's see here. Wouldn't people just buy it up? Sure, that's a lot of sell pressure, though. That's a lot of sell pressure. We absorbed Germany's sell pressure, but it would be panic. It'll dump so hard. I definitely agree. We still have problems with AI. So yeah, all right. So So people are. It's an interesting discussion. What would happen there? It's not a bug. It's a feature. If you can open the wallet, there is no law. It is yours. All right, man. We got a finders keepers rules here. But you sign a paper allowing them to open your lock. ETH hit. All right, ETH hit 6,900. Where do you see XRP next year? Tree fitty. No, it might hit $5-6. Just saw the comment quantum hacks and suggesting to burn Bitcoin and wallet addresses. People can be burned. Then Bitcoin is worthless. Yeah, that's where I'm going to be landing. I'm going to be landing kind of war with the cypherpunks. I think you just got to let it be. It's going to be wild though. We're still years away. But SHA-256. The main reason I want to bring that up, SHA-256 isn't what's backing Bitcoin. Sure, in a weird way, sure, you could say it's backing the Bitcoin network. But when we're talking about, can you steal Satoshi's wallet? You're not worried about SHA-256. You're doing ECC, elliptical curve cryptography. All right, now Bitmine, back to ETH. They bought the dip. They did buy the dip. Looks like they got 100,000 ETH. Today, they spent 417 million. Did they buy that wick on Friday? They did not. But I do have an upcoming interview with Grant Cardone. Grant has that real estate Bitcoin firm, or it's kind of like a Bitcoin treasury, but it's backed by that giant condo in Florida. And basically the rent goes into buying more Bitcoin. He did buy the dip. So I was like, oh man, we got an interview dropping out this weekend. I was like, so basically I brought up when Michael Saylor buys Bitcoin and there's like crazy volatility, you'll look at the charts and you'll be like, oh, he bought the highest point Tuesday afternoon. How's his DCA target so high? Grant Cardone has a lot better strategy. But Bitmine, they ended up, we talked about the 10K prediction there. So Bitmine coming in, they're unfazed, buying the dip. So shout out to Tom Lee. Now let's talk about James Wynn. James Wynn out here getting aggressive. You remember he lost a lot of money on Hyperliquid. Well, guess what? He's back. He's back in black. He deposited, a couple $100K here. He opened some longs positions, totaling about $5 million here. Here's his post. Back with a vengeance. Coming to get what's rightfully mine. This is mine. You're not going to take my money from the casino. High leverage crypto trader liquidated again. This time for $5 million. Oh man. Ah, that's a shame. That's a shame. All right. Hit the like button for James Wynn. Hit the like button. If you got a drink, pour one out, man. Pour one out. That's a shame, man. Take a sip for James Wynn. Oh, if you got some hot bean juice, we'll do a little. This one's for you, James. Cheers to you. 3, 2, 1. Good stuff, man. Sorry about that, James Wynn. If you're wondering why he was longing, 40x. He did a 40x on Bitcoin. And you're like, and he got liquidated? 40x on Bitcoin. He had a 10x on King Pepe. And he also had a 10x on Hype here. So that was those were his trades, and he lost nearly all of it. He lost nearly all of it yesterday. So that was a tough one. That's bad beats. That's a bad beat story right there. Let's talk about Sam Bankman-Fried. Sam Bankman-Fried. Cold brew. Yeah, for the win. It was basically cold. It was hot, but it was cold. Dude must have really peed and stolen cereal. James lose. He got liquidated, then it bounced. Many such cases there. Pour one out for your alt bags. F James Wynn. All right, for you. Yeah, I didn't ask him about his religion wispy, Grant Cardone, but I will say that is a good blueprint for success. It works for Tom Cruise. What else did you rotate your Bitcoin gains into? A little Chainlink, but this is part of a DCA strategy. I did not catch. I deployed stable in during the wick, so little Chainlink here. All right, let's talk about Sam Bankman-Fried. He's back. Start kind of with this. He posted on Getter. It's just going to be a competing social media site here. So he had his friend post on Getter. In the post, he accused Biden. He accused the Biden administration and SEC and DOJ of politically targeting him with anti-crypto agenda. So he's like, man, they came after me. The reason Biden and Co. came after me is because we donated a bunch to Republicans in 2022. He claimed his arrest was timed to prevent his congressional testimony on the crypto bill. Ooh, bold conjecture here. He also has a bunch of flowery articles. This totally changed my opinion of the Amuse account. Now, I saw some specific allegations regarding Amuse, and I mostly just credited it, just talking about, foreign psyop, but this is interesting. Look at his article. First, let's just talk about the artwork here. FTX was never insolvent. My prison interview with Sam Bankman-Fried. Now, if you click on this post, it's a long article. I read about half of it this morning. This is the top comment that popped up on my feed. Who's the photo supposed to be? Some model with thick wavy hair? Have you seen the dude you're writing about? Typical of, they're bringing up his political affiliation here. Typical leftist inventing history. And anyone who believes this paragraph, there's a lot of fugazi paragraphs there. Typical that an outlet using AI slop is also strong language right there that I'm not going to say out loud here. Don't rewrite history because you're paid to. It's embarrassing. And who the F is that person? That's not SPF. Yeah, that's some Chad. That's a Chad. Remind me of the sketch room profiles of SPF. You're like, who is this guy with chiseled cheekbones? And he's sitting here full of Riz. He's mogging the jury. The judge is swooning. SPF, you got Caroline. She keeps doing this. Who is that guy? Because that's not what I saw. That's not the Sam Bankman-Fried that I remember here. So SPF undergoing a coordinated paid image to try and get a pardon and rewrite history. Let's get a few things clear. Yes, FTX was insolvent. If you go into this whole article is basically they weren't insolvent. They were solvent. What are you talking about? They always had the money. The money was always there. All right, so you were insolvent. Yes, you were. If you could not meet deposits because you'd taken people's money without them knowing, illegally invested it in private startups, the value of the paper equity is irrelevant. Yeah, they got Anthropic AI. They got Hood shares near the bottom. They invested in Swee. They on paper, boy, they had a lot of money. But when you cannot meet depositor obligations, you're insolvent. Okay, even if you weren't insolvent, let's just assume, okay, maybe you weren't so stuck up in Hood stock and Anthropic, IPO or equity here. Maybe you still had enough cash, right? Even if you weren't insolvent, even if you did have the cash, it's still a crime. If you stole someone's wallet with $10, bet that money on a scratch off, and then paid back the $10 that they still stole, it doesn't negate the crime. In their own TOS said deposits were at the times property of depositors. No rights were assigned elsewhere. So you spent the money, does not negate the theft. He has no remorse. He thinks he was right. He would do it again. He belongs behind bars. There you go, folks. There's a SBF. Be wary of the glowing image rehabilitation that you're starting to see. And it's also interesting. This is all happening before we start seeing two major projects. There's an HBO miniseries. One of them's going to have the Ozarks girl, the real, can I say hick? She was a hick on Ozarks. She's going to play Caroline Ellison. That's going to be probably a good one. There's also going to be a made-for-TV movie, I think, that's going to be pretty popular. So you're starting to see, like, hey, this guy isn't that bad. We know he's bad. Free SBF. Free SBF. It's what SBF wish he looked like. SBF stole your money. Now you have to pay to feed him. That's true. That's true. Yeah, I guess our tax dollars do pay for his ramen noodles and his honey buns. Oh, man. Hey, he's grown up. He's grown up, apparently. Weekly head and shoulders on Solana. Maybe we look at that towards the end. Yeah, that definitely doesn't look like SBF. See, yeah, are you paid? You're paid to say that. You're paid to say that. Ruth, yes. Ruth is going to be playing Caroline. It's going to be pretty good there. I don't know. S about F is her probably most famous line there. Now let's talk about the PYUSD $300 trillion. What? Trillion, not billion, not million. 300 trillion mint. Funds are safe, just an operational error. This is from Zach Ryan's Chainlink got here. Excess supply has been burned. One-to-one peg still good. It's a good example of a situation where Chainlink would have prevented this entire PR nightmare. Here you can see it. We mistakenly minted excess. Yeah, I'd say so. PYUSD is part of internal transfer. We immediately identified the error, burned the excess PYUSD. Internal technical error. There's no security breach. Customers' funds are safe. We have addressed the root cause. How do you fat finger 6 digits? More so, how does that pass internal quality verification? It's not the dollar amount. You should be thinking it's the fact that it's collateralized asset that can be created without collateral. My point, I was sharing with the coworkers this morning. At the end of the day, even if you're using Chainlink, even if you have the world's best oracles and API data, and it's tied into the treasury market and tied into Oracle on the bank account and money transfers. At the end of the day, there's still a human typing somewhere. Okay, I don't think we're at the point where all of that just happens algorithmically. At the end, there's still people, typing in, hitting enter. There's still someone hitting enter somewhere. And so, I don't know how much Chainlink would have fixed it, just to be clear. But yeah, I think Chainlink probably would have fixed that there. Definitely would have put in a couple extra steps where maybe that would have been seen. Was it 9 zeros or something like that? A little bit crazy there. Crypto users left scrambling after they minted that. And so they minted, then burned. They did it within 30 minutes. They said immediately. We have the timestamps here. So they minted at 7:12 UTC, and then they would burn them 22 minutes later, 7:34 UTC. That's, 22 minutes, probably fine. There's probably a lot of panicking for 22 minutes. It probably looked like The Office with the fire drill. I think there's people like, muted my mic. They're trying to throw the cat in the ceiling. They're trying to break the window. It was probably pretty scary for a second there. Now here's the breakdown of the stablecoins. Stablecoins have 2.3 for PYUSD. It is the 6th largest token. Number 1 is Tether. Number 2 is USDC. Number 3 is Athena, depegged on Binance. Then we have DAI, which has been shrinking, which is not really what you want to see. And then we have one tied to chief grift officer, chief executive officer there. Some say it's headed by Barron Trump. USD1 is going to be the World Liberty Fi token there. But they're also they're working with Paxos on that one as well. And Paxos works with PayPal USD. So I don't think you can blame Paxos for this. Or maybe you can. Maybe it's a rogue Paxos employee. They're going to probably do some sort of report over the next 24 or 48 hours. Maybe they bury it late Friday, so it kind of disappears in the news. And they're going to say, you know, some sort of internal error. It's not going to be able to tell, but they probably got really mad at Ralph. You know, there's some guy working there. His name's probably Ralph, and they're mad at Ralph right now. Is Ralph a rogue agent for Tether? Probably not. Chainlink, back to Chainlink though. I don't know if I'm going to go to SmartCon. I got a, let's see. I wonder what Chainlink blue verticals are. I thought that said Charles Hoskinson for a second. I was like, what? So these blue vertical lines is this big annual conference for Chainlink. It's called SmartCon. I do have media passes. I don't know if I'm going to go to it, but if you look at what happens to SmartCon usually pumps Chainlink. The same thing happens to Solana. There's a couple strong altcoins that have, I would say, strong fundamentals, you know, good business development teams. Maybe actually there's some revenue there. They're doing some things. SmartCon pumps Chainlink typically. I'm drawing a blank on the Solana conference that pumps. Is it Breakpoint maybe? There, you know, same thing happens with Solana. Maybe something to not fade. Maybe something to not fade there. It does. I mean, that was a huge pump. That was the bear. That was like the worst time because that's the end of the bear market. Even this is technically semi like a bear market, you know, downtrend. It still created the fake hopium pump there. If anything, we're in a fake hopium phase of a quote unquote, you know, cycle's over. This is all a bear market. If we are in, you know, say that was the top, October 6th was right. The guy in 4chan, you know, predicted it accurately. We're still going to be in the fake hopium phase. We're still not. There's going to be plenty of dead cat bounces. So I would at least expect some sort of giant bounce for Chainlink here. I don't know if you know, you guys are bullish on Chainlink. You know, Trump and Xi should just duke it out on live TV. Everything going to charity. They're not helping the economy because, well, you want to be the number one global superpower. And if you're either have it, you want to hold it, or if you're within striking distance, you want it and you want to take it from the other person. That's going to be very, very normal. Link is flaky. Maybe my scalp if I'm not using or is it Head and Shoulders? Scared of losing just okay. No, we're gonna stay. Thank you for the membership, Laserface. There, someone tell Larry the authorities need to watch, not the citizens. Buy the biddy. Larry, the authorities need watch, not the citizens. Oh, yeah, you talking about Ellison? Yeah. Surveillance Strait is coming December 12th. It is Breakpoint. Okay, I was correct. It's called Breakpoint there. All right, never forget, though, I don't think people have woken up to the fact all stablecoins can be frozen by a central entity. Your Tether can be frozen. Your Circle can be frozen. Everything can be frozen. Maybe not Zcash, maybe not Monero, but everything can be frozen. I love this take. This is my favorite take. I can't believe Paxos minted 300 trillion of PYUSD overnight. That's not their job. Printing money out of thin air is the responsibility of the Fed. It's the Fed. Great take there. Great take. All right. Now, I do want to give a quick shout out. DZ pull, we crushed these last blocks. I think we were like 180% over allocated or 230% over allocated. We got millions in ADA locked on DZ stake pool. I'm working on the book. Book's coming soon. You're going to have a claimable book. We're working with Midnight validators. So you're going to have Midnight as part of your staking rewards. You're going to have ADA part of your staking rewards. If you self-custody your ADA stake to DZ pool, I really do appreciate it. Helps me out. Now we have big news for BNB. BNB on Coinbase. BNB is now on Coinbase. Not only that, BNB is also live for trading on Kraken. Deposits, withdrawals are now enabled for BNB. So we got BNB all-time high. You know, great time to buy it a couple months ago. And what do the American exchanges do? They list it now. And we see this every time. If you haven't watched this channel, you know, in a while, we always say, oh, it's listed on Binance tomorrow. Well, it's going to dump. Oh, it's listed on Coinbase today. Well, guess what? It dumped. Now, if we look at the prices, what's BNB doing? Okay, it is green. It's flipped green. It was red earlier today. Looks like it is the only coin in the top. Now, Tron's green too. So it's one of the only coins in the top 10 that is in the green. Coinbase listing, though, like if you think you have the alpha on a coin being listed, typically listed on a big exchange is just sell pressure. That's just kind of how it happens. I don't make the rules. How's CoAI doing? CoAI is still above $20. So congrats if you jumped in on that one. We talked about it, I think the day after this pump. We talked about it here. I think we ended up maybe a little bit later there. Let's see. That was on the 12th. This is still the 13th here. Yeah, we jumped in. around 7 something, 8. You know, I was sharing it here, rather, I should say. We got in a little bit earlier there. So if you're in on CoAI, congrats. We're eating on that one there. All right, so we got CZ. Let's see. Oh, yeah. CZ throwing out a challenge to Coinbase. He said, Brian Armstrong, I urge you to list more BNB projects. Binance, we lift your stupid Coinbase projects. We lift all your stupid base projects. I don't think Coinbase has listed a single BNB chain project yet, and it's a more active chain. Shots fired. Now, Trey just recommended, given we're on the topics of being open, inclusive, etc. Also good for the exchange, I believe. I don't know. I don't know if BNB projects being listed on American exchanges is going to be a good thing for those projects, but, you know, because then that might just give the early entrants all that liquidity to just dump that thing. So they end up dumping it over 30 days instead of like 100 days. Still pretty good. BNB down despite the listing on Coinbase there. That's just going to be normal things. Let's talk about Trump. I'm starting to see a lot of tangentially incorrect information regarding Trump. I saw this article here. It's a little bit negative persuasion. Trump family crypto ventures may have netted over $1 billion driven by the Trump meme coin. So they have made $1 billion. You read this article, you would assume, at least I assume, oh, so most of the money came from Trump. That's what it seems like here, right? So it's driven by the Trump meme coin. Okay, so that means most of it came from that. I just want to cut to the graphic. They got a good visualization. No, most of it came from World Liberty Fi. In fact, you can add 50% to the Trump token profits there. That's going to be 362. That's going to be 181. That's going to be 543. 543 is less than 550. So you can pump the Trump profits by 50% and you're still under the World Liberty Fi profits by $7 million. So not quite, driven by their DeFi project there. And Melania Coin, they did make a little off Melania Coin, and USD1 coming in last place. I think there's a world where USD1 will look like World Liberty Fi. World Liberty Fi will look like Trump meme coin. Melania will look like Trump, and USD1 will look like Melania. I think we're kind of in that shift right now. Stable coins are very, very lucrative. You just got to get enough because it's very low margins. So you need a whole lot. You need that, you know, 100 billion of a market cap, a 50 billion market cap. And we're looking at USD1. It's still a smaller market cap. They're coming in at 6th place, but it is a very, very profitable strategy there. All right. So there we go, folks. There's our show. We went a whole hour. I meant to go a little shorter, but, you know, hanging out with Crank and then, you know, getting a little sidetracked by SBF and whoever that model was. I don't know who that model was, but, you know, talking about that. I mean, hold on. Where is it? Right here. Yeah, that just ain't him. That ain't him. That's not him. Hit the like button if you think that does not look like him, folks. But I do appreciate it. Let me tell you a little. All right, so here's what I'm about to do. I got to pack. I got to get ready, and I got to go to the airport super early tomorrow. DZ's going to Mexico, and I'm absconding with all my Bitcoin and your Bitcoin because I was the hacker. No, I am doing a little late. We're doing a late honeymoon here. Me and the wife. We're going to be going to a little vacation resort, and we're gonna just relax. I'm going to be stepping away, folks. Oh yeah, Kelly. Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Kelly. We do have a Spaces. Make sure you check that out. But yeah, tell me, I don't know what I should leave it in the comments down below. You know, what should I do when I'm in Mexico? We do have a little bit of a plan. I want to keep it mostly breezy here, but me and the wife, we're going to do a Mexican cooking class. That should be pretty fun. We we go to the farmer's market. We get the fresh ingredients. They take us to the class. Apparently they ply you with alcohol. I don't really drink. Maybe I'll have a cocktail or one. Maybe, I don't know. So I will let you guys know. So when I come back, I'll have some stories here. We do have a Spaces a little bit later. Kelly's going to be on with Chris Klein. He's from Bitcoin IRA. Looks like they have all types of people. Randy's going to be there. Sammy, Zach Humphreys. That's pretty cool. On-Chain College. So check that out. Yeah, big shout out to Zach. I like Zach here. We like all the people on this page. So give that a listen to. That's going to be happening at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Drop Crank a link. Yeah, make sure you check out Crypto Crank. I think you just type in Crypto Crank. You should be able to see it here. But yeah, that is a good one. Let's give Crypto Crank the shout out. I'm looking for it here. All right. So he is real Crypto Crank. Oh, man, chat, let's help this guy out. This is nothing. 231 follows. I've started the wave. I am 232. I want to see you guys get in on that. I just put the link in the comment section right there on YouTube. At least if you're on X already, go make sure you go give him a little bit of a follow. Give him a whole lot of a follow. Smash that like button on the way out. That's our show for today. I appreciate you guys hanging out. I'll see you guys in the future.
We just wanted to take a quick second to shout out our sponsor, Arculus. They are a cold storage hardware wallet, helps you secure all of your digital assets for the future. Just tap this thing to the back of your phone and boom, you're in. We wouldn't be able to do this without them, but also wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, the Disco fam. You've supported us a lot over the years. If you want to support the channel now, just use the code DC20. It gets you 20% off this card. It's the #1 way you can support this channel going forward. Thank you for your support.